What's up guys, Mason the Brock Henderson here, and it's time to talk about another video game that I just finished. Well, kind of just finished and then went to replay again. Batman, the Telltale Series. So, this is a game that, as I was seeing the previews for it, as I was watching pretty much what it was about, I was getting kind of excited for it. I was like, okay, this could be a really interesting game, because it gives you the chance to take Batman in a different place than most games let you take it. You know, like most of the time you're Batman and you have to stop the bad guy and that's it. This one sounded like it was actually going to give you the chance to be maybe a different, darker version of Batman. And so I played through it the first time. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be Batman this time. I'm just going to do it pretty much how he would do it. Played through the game, finished it, and I was like, okay, time to go back and play it again and make some different choices this time, see what happens. And nothing changed. Little things changed, but nothing changed. And that's about all I can say about the story without spoilers happening. So stick around, I'll talk about spoilers in a second. But for those of you who haven't played it yet and who are wondering, should I or should I not play the game, just as a fair warning, the game says they tailor the game to how you play it. They don't mean that your choices affect the story. They mean your choices affect character reactions, and that's it. So if you were coming into this game expecting, ooh, I get to choose how Batman is, I get to choose the story, no. The story is set in stone. Now, I'll talk about that later. But as far as your choices, the choices you make, they affect the little things on the side. So pretty much like, what was that game? Life is Strange, if you ever played that one. And apparently Telltale has done this before, like their other games are like this, where the story is set in stone, it's just the choices you make affect how characters will react to you, and that's about it. So, that's it for the game. As far as some of the other things, the voice acting is good. You know, I think probably not as good as, say, the voice acting from the Arkham series, you know, the voice actors from the original TV show. I would prefer those voice actors just because, I don't know, their voices are a bit more distinct. These voices are kind of generic, but they do a good job. They act very well. The actual like design of it is very. If you've seen the design of other Telltale games, I've never actually played the Walking Dead games or anything like that, but I've seen them, and so it's the same art design. And sometimes it does work. Sometimes, you know, the facial expressions really do work, and they work really well. But you know, it's a type of art design. If it's not your type, then you know probably you're not gonna like it. But yeah, it's not anything spectacular. The graphics, the actual look of it isn't anything spectacular. It's just sort of okay. Yeah, it's Telltale. I see it. I recognize pretty much as The Walking Dead, just Batman now. And then the last thing is, of course, just the story. Is it any good? Well, without any spoilers, it's pretty interesting the first time you play through, but then the second time, it gets really annoying because you just want to skip ahead and make the decisions and see what these little decisions are changing, what little things they're changing in the game. And so you have to just sit through all of it again because there's no skipping, there's no chance to like skip through dialogue. You can't like, okay, I read that sentence, time to skip. No, you have to wait and wait and wait. And it's just the play or replay value is absolutely none in my opinion. So those are my opinions without any spoilers. Take with that what you will. If you're looking for a game where you want to see Batman do cool Batman stuff, even then, probably not exactly what you're looking for. If you're looking for an interesting Batman story, you probably will get one, just not in the setting that I think most people were hoping for. So, on to the spoiler stuff about it. The story, like I said, fairly interesting. You know, it was something that did catch my interest the first time. And so, all of this stuff, you know, learning about the Children of Arkham, learning about Oswald Cobblepot and all the stuff he's doing, I'm playing all of this, and all I can think in my mind is, I can't wait to play this again to see what would happen if maybe I talked to Oswald a little bit differently. You know, maybe if I'm a bit nicer to him, maybe if I'm a bit nicer to Vicki Vale, What if that affects the villain's opinion of me? And what if that changes how the story works out? Maybe not changing the overall story, but maybe things work out a little bit differently to where now, instead of imprisoning me in Arkham because they decide, oh, he's got to be stopped, maybe me being nice to them and me completely just going along with it makes them think, oh, well, maybe he doesn't need to be punished. Maybe he's actually willing to work with us. But no. And honestly, my replay stopped after the third episode. Like, I was playing through it, I was noticing the changes that were happening. I was noticing, okay, you decide to save Harvey instead of Selina. Well, he doesn't become Two-Face. But then he's still Two-Face. You still go to Selina's apartment, and if you decide to stay with her, he still shows up the next day, and he's still crazy, and he still wants to hurt you for sleeping with her. And it's just like, he's not Two-Face anymore, but he's still acting like Two-Face. So what changed? You decide to save Harvey instead of Selina. Well, guess what? She's still alive. The only thing that changes is, she doesn't like the fact that you didn't try to save her at the thing. That's about it. Nothing big changes there. And honestly, that should be a big change. Saving Harvey's life, making sure he's not Two-Face, should be a big change. But he still acts like Two-Face, even if he doesn't look like him. So what's the point? Not saving Selina, ends up with a gunshot in her shoulder. Guess what? She doesn't even act hurt. The only thing that changes is she makes a mention of, oh yeah, you didn't decide to save me. That's it. Nothing else changes. How can that not change anything? How can deciding not to save her not change anything? And that's honestly my biggest problem. And, maybe in the final episode, maybe, there's a moment where you can decide to talk Vicki Vale down. You can try to talk to her to change her mind, and she's got a gun to Alfred, but you also got a chance to just straight up attack her. Maybe there's a chance that if you decide to attack her, she kills him, but I doubt that. And then on top of that, I don't know, there are some moments where I decided to go stop Harvey at my house when he's trying to take on Alfred instead of going to stop Cobblepot at Wayne Enterprises. Honestly, I can't think of, if they're not making any major story changes, I honestly can't think of how that would make anything different then. If the story's supposed to stay the same throughout all of this, well then what would that change? Well, probably you go to Cobblepot and he's not even there. You just waste your time, then you get back to Wayne Manor and Alfred is hurt but probably not dead and had to take on Harvey's men all on his own. And that's the only thing. That would probably be the only thing that changed. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know so I can actually be interested enough to finish my replay. But after playing through the first 3 episodes, absolutely nothing changed as far as the story goes. And even though I understand, they're not saying that the main story is going to change. They've never really done that with one of their games before. In my opinion, something about it should change. Something about the story in general should change. If I'm being 100% nice to Cobblepot, I'm actually kind of telling him, yeah, I'm on your side. There's no reason he should be a complete dick to me, and then Vicki Vale decides, oh, we're going to stab you and put you in Arkham anyway. Where does that come from? If I'm not acting like that, even as Batman, I told Vicki Vale Bruce Wayne will pay his debts, and she's like, good, that's good to hear. Even then, she's still just like, oh, well, I'm taking things in my own hand. It doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, overall, like I said, the story is interesting enough. It's not a great story, it's not a great Batman story, but it is interesting. Vicki Vale being the Lady of Arkham, that's a good twist. Having her work with Cobblepot, that's an interesting story. Having Harvey thrown in there with everything going on with him and Selina and all the stuff going on with Bruce Wayne's parents. I mean, most of the time when you hear about Bruce Wayne's parents, they're always upstanding citizens. They're not bad people at all. This one, they actually are bad people. That's something I've never really heard about in a Batman story before. And part of that could be because I'm not huge into comics and stuff like that. There probably is a comic book somewhere that exists where Bruce Wayne's parents are evil, but I haven't heard about it. None of what I've heard, Gotham and the Dark Knight trilogy, any of these TV shows or movies about Batman, I've never seen this done before. So I thought it was a very interesting story to go with. But then you have to just go and ruin this whole idea Because guess what? Who cares about the replay value? You play it once, that's it. There's no joy in the replay. There's no, oh, I wonder what's going to happen this time. Guess what? It's the same thing every time. The little things change, and that's about it. You have to sit through, like I said, every single cutscene again. You don't get to skip through the dialogue. You don't get to skip ahead to some things. You have to go replay every little detail again just to find out, guess what? Nothing's changing. Everything happens the exact same. And even the big thing about all this, the death scenes, sometimes in these choose your own adventure games, sometimes the death scenes can be kind of entertaining. You know, you've got the whole not stop motion, what's it called? QuickTime events. When you fail the QuickTime events, sometimes it can be entertaining to see, okay, I failed this QuickTime event. Oh, I got kicked off the ledge this time. Oh, I failed this QuickTime event. Oh, I got shot in the head. In this, it's like they do the moves for you, and then if you fail like 3 or 4 in a row, then it's some animation about like, you know, oh, in the first episode, this guy picks up a gun and shoots Batman, and he's dead. When fighting Catwoman, she kicks him, and then she stands there like she just beat him up really bad or something. And that's it. So even the QuickTime fails aren't that fun. So I'm just trying to think, what is the point? You know, you play through it once, what's the point of playing it again? And with a game like this, you know, a game like Until Dawn, one of the fun things that kind of made it a really good game was that you could go back and play it again, and this time have a completely different story because of some of the decisions you make. You know, this decision led to, well, this character now dies because of that decision you made a while ago, and now you have to decide, okay, we'll go back to that decision, change it. Well, now this decision you made a little bit down the line, that led to that person's death. So you have to decide what decisions to make, and those decisions actually led to different endings for the game. Sometimes everybody made it, sometimes one person made it, sometimes a few made it. That game really had a good premise and really executed the whole choose your own adventure thing very well. This is just like, you've got the same story no matter what. So the replay value is just not there. And that's really disappointing in my opinion. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know what your thoughts were. Maybe some people went into this game knowing what to expect. You know, probably some of the people that played the Walking Dead games knew coming into it that the story wasn't going to change. So maybe if you're one of those people, let me know what you thought. Let me know if those are your thoughts, or if you didn't mind it all too much because you knew what to expect. But I still think, just based on the fact that you can't skip the dialogue and all of that stuff, that is what makes the replay even more painful. You know, it's already frustrating you can't change the story, but to go back and I want to see, oh, then what do my decisions change? I want to see at least that much. Sitting through all of it is just ridiculously long, and I just want to speed it up. I want to go through it again and be like, choose this, and done. But it doesn't let me do that, and so it's just really frustrating. You can clearly tell I'm frustrated. So those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know what yours down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this game? Are your opinions the same as mine? If they're different, let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future video game reviews. I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.